Father is facing second-degree murder charges tonight after bludgeoning a convicted sex offender with a moose antler.
What's up, guys? True Crime King. All right. So, I want to react to this, and I want to get your guys' opinions on this. So, we have a man that kills a sex offender with a moose antler. Okay? You can't make this shit up, guys. So here we go.
A man says that the sex offender had been stalking his small daughter in their community. We want to show you.
Okay, that's all. If he was a sex offender was stalking my daughter, and I had a moose antler in my hand, we're on YouTube.
By Axtell, the 27-year-old father, and as far back as 2018, Axtell told police that 77-year-old Lawrence V. Scully was stalking his 22-month-old daughter.
Okay, so this is the father that used the moose antler on the sex offender.
The time, and other children in his van, parking it outside of her daycare. Now, he sought an order of protection from police. It was granted, but then dismissed weeks.
Okay, so he was trying to follow the law, right? He got an order of protection, but then it was dismissed for some reason.
Later, the sex offender was convicted of sexually assaulting a 6-year-old girl and was released from prison for that in 1982. Well, this father allegedly drove to Scully's house, beat him with a shovel 15 to 20 times before, quote, finishing him off with a moose antler.
A moose antler. Wow. Yeah, I can't say how I, truly feel because I don't want to, get my channel taken off YouTube. But, yeah, that sex offender, shouldn't have been in society, period, right? He's a multiple-time offender. He was already in prison and served a sentence, and then he did it again, so he didn't learn. In my opinion, he got what was coming to him.
This happened about 2 hours north of Duluth, and right after the murder, Axtell immediately...
I would actually almost say, free this man.
Drove himself to the police station, covered in blood, and turned himself in for the murder. We want to bring in former FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffin.
I mean, don't let the daughter suffer anymore, right? Without a father, and now, I mean... set him free, that the sex offender was preying on little girls again. That's my opinion.
Jennifer, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Natasha.
And first, Jennifer, just want to get your initial read on this case, and specifically premeditation here, because this father did not bring a gun to this man's house. The method of death, certainly unusual and gruesome. Any evidence of premeditation here, and how would this case likely play with a jury?
Well, I certainly think a jury will be very sympathetic. This was a 3-year-old little girl.
3 years old. I mean, yeah, if I was on that jury, think about if you were on this jury, right? And you heard this, right? And I'm sure a lot of you have daughters or sons, right? I mean, how would you feel if this guy was preying on your daughter or son when they're 3-year-old, right? What would you do?
It was somebody who stalked outside of this daycare, somebody who was indeed convicted of molesting a 6-year-old girl. And this will play well into the chances of him receiving a light sentence. Remember all...
Yeah, give him some probation, community service, and let him out.
So he turned himself in. He admitted to everything. Now, certainly, I am not excusing his actions, but I'm just saying that typically a person who commits a crime like this for these reasons receives a lighter sentence.
And it does...
Well, because it's obvious, he was defending his daughter and defending every other possible child that this sex offender could have preyed upon, right? So anybody that has children living in that area, this man could have saved your child from being a victim of that sex offender.
seem that this father tried to involve police in 2018. We know that order of
He's almost a hero, in my opinion.
protection was filed against Scully after Axtell accused him of.
But YouTube censors. I'm in no way. I don't, condone violence in any way. I'm just saying, my opinion and how I feel.
Stalking and attempting to groom his daughter. And that order initially granted and then dropped several weeks later. Is that a common thing? And what are some instances where an order of protection like that would be dropped?
Well, it's not common, and it shouldn't have been dropped, particularly since this individual had been convicted.
Shouldn't have been dropped. Repeat offender. He should be, that order should have lasted his whole life.
It's really disturbing, actually, that this well played into the actions then taken. If that order would have been kept, perhaps this whole incident would not have happened. But it did happen, and certainly he's going to have to pay a criminal price for his conduct. And seemingly he knew that and was willing to pay the price to keep his daughter safe from this individual in his mind.
And sex offenders who have been released do live among us. They live in our communities. If a parent does not feel safe, they feel their child is being targeted, and let's say they even do file an order of protection and it's not enforceable for some reason, what more should a parent do?
Well, what more they can do, and this is terrible to say, but you may have to move. You may have to.
Fuck that. I'm not moving, but just because this guy keeps going on. I mean, if law enforcement's got to take care of it, or someone's got to do. You got to do what you got to do. I mean, maybe he didn't have the funds to move. Maybe his family all lived there. I mean, no, you can't be forced to move just because there's a sex offender is preying on your kid. I don't know.
To put yourself out of those crosshairs if you're not.
The sex offender needs to be moved. Okay.
Getting the proper support from law enforcement. I think we need stiffer sentences against convicted pedophiles, and I think that would help with the situation because there is great recidivism with pedophiles.
But if he was already, he shouldn't have been around children at all, right? I mean, if he was already in prison for a sex offense, he shouldn't have been allowed, especially anywhere near a daycare. Forget the order against that the guy had. I mean, he shouldn't have been anywhere near that daycare.
It is very hard for them to go back in society and not recommit the same crimes.
As this case plays out, will it matter what was actually said, what the exchange that they had in that house before the murder took place looked like? And, we do have the detail that a neighbor heard screaming, but other than that, doesn't only the father at this point know what actually transpired in that house?
Well, that's exactly right. And he's probably already given some sort of statement, judging by the fact that he went in there, he turned himself in, he was covered in blood. So he's already given a statement, and that's going to be the statement that he's going to be held to. So, Natasha, I don't think we're going to know exactly what words were said other than what he admits to.
And
yeah, the only person that knows that's still alive, what was said and what actually happened is the father. And who knows? He could have been acting in self-defense. I mean, the guy could have had a gun or a knife or whatever, and then the closest thing to him was this moose antler, right? Or that shovel. I mean, who knows what actually happened?
Still had known Scully for a long time. We know he's currently charged with second-degree murder, facing potentially 40 years behind bars.
40 years? Why? No way. He should not receive anything near that.
Due to the pair's history, could the charges change to first-degree or premeditated murder?
I don't see those changing. I see a scenario where he went there to confront him and then ended up bludgeoning him to death. I don't believe from the reports that he took a pair of antlers with him. So therefore, Natasha, I think this will stay at second-degree murder.
All right, Jennifer Coffendoffer, always appreciate.
Well, that's it, guys. If you don't like the sex offenders preying on little kids, hit the like button so I know that there's some normal people out there. If let me know what you guys think of this crazy situation in the comments section. And until next time, guys, True Crime King out.